Right, let's start with the issue of units. Under Section 10 of the National Police Service Act, the Inspector General has a statutory obligation to ensure that the command and control of the service is seamless. And for him to be able to do this, he is allowed by the section, by that particular act, to create units from time to time. Similarly, the DIG responsible for Kenya Police Service and DIG responsible for Administration Police Service to have the mandate to establish such units, specialized elite units, whatever name they use them, and formations to ensure that they are able to execute their functions under the Constitution and the NPS Act. So while at that, the IG and the DIGs are obligated to inform the authority of such formations and units so that we are able to undertake inspections, so that we are able to monitor what they are doing and therefore hold them accountable in the execution of their function. Now, the process of establishment of units and the whole process is laid out in the standing orders, but some of the units are recognized by law, others aren't. Like, for example, the SSU unit, that the SSU that is currently making headlines is not one of those that is listed. And by the Act, the NPS Act and the standing order, I haven't seen a provision where the DCI can establish. And I want to assume that the unit was established by the Inspector General, because after all, he is in charge of the overall command and control of the National Police Service. Now, this information was not conveyed to us. Remember, you can only be able to monitor these units and formations if you have information about their existence. Like you and other Kenyans, we were shocked to know there is such an entity that is being used to carry out a certain agenda. And therefore, we made a request, not a request to the Inspector General to furnish us. That is pursuant to our act, with all information, records, the composition, the terms of reference. What were the, when this unit was established, what are the conditions? What were they supposed to do? What was the intended objectives and so on? That information is yet to reach the authority. So, and that is one of the challenges when you ask me, why haven't we done what we ought to have done, is because of non-cooperation. When you request for this information, if indeed something is legit and something is done in the right manner, what is so hard about sharing this information so that the authority which is required by the Constitution and the law to hold you accountable should be able to vet, verify, and check whether indeed, or audit that operation and that unit and be able to exonerate or communicate to the relevant institution, especially the president, and tell him this is legitimate, it was created under the law, this is how they carried out their function, and so on. So in the absence of that cooperation, and which we consider it as a blue code of silence, where officers refuse to give information that may have some implication on their colleagues, we find we would not be wrong to call it a clear non-cooperation with intention not to be audited by the entity that is created by statute to hold the police accountable. Now, why now? Why has HIPOA been silent until now? I'm sure that is the next question you will ask. We have had challenges, just like many other institutions, of political goodwill. When we are talking about, police is answerable direct to His Excellency, the President of the day. Therefore, the political goodwill is critical for us to be able to carry out our duties. The Cabinet Secretary responsible for that docket must also be firm enough, because he has an obligation under the NPS Act and other laws, to even the National Security Council Act, to be able to carry out supervisory role on the units and of the service, so that they can cooperate with us. The kind of work that we do is intrusive in nature, because we are monitoring somebody, or we're inspecting premises of an institution, a service that is licensed to use firearm, or by law they can use firearm, they can maintain law and order, and so on. So that particular aspect is a challenge, or was a challenge. But right now, with the commitment of His Excellency the President, when we visited him on Monday in State House, he was very clear. He will not hold us. He will not stop us from doing what we must, and he will ensure he emphasis is on only holding the police accountable. Okay. How far that will go is still out there, but we believe that he's given direction and we shall act on them when we are up to the task.